All right, ladies and gentlemen, this video is going to serve as a helpful guide on how we can use the driving question board more to our advantage. Something I touched on yesterday in our live session, but I, as always, want to follow that up with a screencast so it's a resource that you guys can come back to. Okay, so remember, we want to start with having our main three tabs open. We have our interactions, STEM Resource Finder, some of you guys are calling it, Concord Consortium website, whatever you want to call it. We want to have that open. Remember that we're logging in with our Google credentials, okay? And yours is going to look a little bit different than mine, okay? I think when you get into your home page, you should see something like this, right? You see that you are in my science class. And as you click into an investigation, you should see these 5 activities. We did this one last week, activity 1. We're working on activity 2 now. We'll move on to activity 3 tomorrow. So that's a little bit more on what it should look like for you. Okay, but as I go into our first investigation here, remember it's going to naturally take you back to whatever you were working on. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit, go back to activity 1. Again, just because I wanted to use this as an example, and I don't want to necessarily spoil any experiences we're going to have in the future. Okay, one of the things I mentioned in our live session, make sure that you're really combing these pages for all the information that you could find. Some of these links can sort of seem a little bit hidden. So one of the most important videos that you could watch here in activity 1 is in this third part. It's a video here of a demonstration, okay? And that's where our driving question board comes in. If we look past this, if we look back at this for a second, we have 3 categories. All right, and again, this is a little bit more filled out because we talked about it yesterday during our live session. But we have observations, we have questions, and we have what we agree upon as a class. Observations, we talked about this last week. This is all about us using our 5 senses to collect information about what is going on around us, okay? And I want to think about what's happening before, what's happening after. Okay, so here's a good observation here. There are pie plates stacked on top of the VDG. The VDG is the machine. The Van de Graaff generator is what it's called. The plates are touching it. So there's a couple good observations here about what's happening before. I know it's tough to see with this play button here. I could pause it. I've sort of started to get into it here. But they're resting on top. As I watch through the video, I see that the plates are starting to move off. So I can go back. Again, I know this is tricky flipping between tabs, but that's the beautiful thing about a video. I can go back and I can rewatch it if I need to. So I see some more observations. Smaller ones flew up higher. All of them flew away from the machine. We have a lot of good observations about what was happening throughout that experience, okay? Our questions are things that are going to be helping us understand our essential questions, right? These questions over here are our big unit essential questions or investigation essential questions. And, our end goal is to find a concrete answer to those questions. So that brings us to these questions. I know, how many times can I say question? These are things that we want to ask in order for us to get a better understanding or develop a more in-depth investigation or experiment so that we might be able to find out more information. Okay, so would the same thing have happened if they were not touching the VDG? Typo there. Okay, how much force and energy is being used? Oops, that's about something different. And again, I know we're sort of figuring out where things are going. Why did the smaller ones go up higher? Again, a lot of clarifying questions to help us sort of drive our further investigations, okay? This last column is going to be something that I am addressing during our live sessions. So don't worry about that third column. Just worry about the two columns to the left, our observations and our questions, while we are working on our activities. All right. Just as a reminder, each activity is labeled up top here. So we have activity 1. You can scroll down to activity 2, so on and so forth. So I hope this helps. As always, shoot me any questions on Schoology, and if not, I will see you guys in class.